Hi guys, welcome back to another quick card pull. This is pulling from the Forest of Enchantment Tarot cards on Tuesday, May the 5th. So today the May 5th 5-5 portal is open. This is a very highly manifestation month. Even if you're posting or maybe your password is part of like your manifestation, you know what I mean? You listen to video, you're doing it already. I feel like it's just like today where you light your candles. Again, 2626 is another one. So it's like whatever way, whatever ceremony. So like the beginning of the month that we just had, maybe you cleaned your front doorway area and you did your salt and cinnamon. So whatever way you're bringing this in, you're already doing it. Don't worry, you're covered. But nothing if you have the time, because I understand not all of us have that kind of time. This fox is like prominent, and so is that owl, because we had the fox the other day in the cards. But just remember that. Don't be hard on yourself, even if you're thinking of it because you're so busy. Like, I am open to, and then say that with no harm to none. Like, I am open to receiving blessings of abundance, with no harm to none, including myself. Because we have to really watch our words, the power of the tongue, because I would call things in and it's like, you got to cover yourself because people try to manipulate energy. So we're starting with the black shuck. This is death card. So change and transformation. Started the video, it was 444. So, this is, again, people, places, things that are leaving your life. They're clearing the path. So think of the infinity symbol. Things are an ebb and flow. Things are leaving and new things are coming in. Some of you, this is love. Remember, or even offers for job. There's offers coming in. Just because offers come in, don't feel like, if you say no to it because it doesn't resonate, that will be the only offer. The universe is unlimited to its blessings and abundance. You don't have to feel like you have to take every single thing that comes in. Sometimes we'll take things in and it's like, oh, that was a learning lesson, because we're new, we're excited. That's the thing. In the excitement of the situation, like Deborah Silverman taught us in The Missing Element, take the emotions out of the situation and what is the actual facts. Wheel of Fortune, the enchantment wheel. So you have it look like a blue jay to me, but it's the blue jay, longer tail, but I know that's not a blue jay. I love this because like with us, that key really stands out for me. Dream catchers, I feel like putting up like all like where you live in North America, in the northern hemisphere, so hummingbirds and dragonflies, butterflies, like robins, like I feel like robin is the first tale of spring is here. So it's just like getting, maybe you're getting your flower beds ready. Like I just took the eggshells that I've been collecting, they were clean, and it's just like, ground them into a fine powder. We're supposed to get rain tomorrow, so it's like let all those nutrients go into the soil. I'll probably take my claw where you turn the soil around to just let it get it really in there. Give the worms some good food, some good eats there. But the powerful thing is that we're moving forward. I feel like kind of like, that's that spin wheel, like I'm kind of hypnotizing you kind of thing. Um, I don't I feel like you're hypnotized with spring or hypnotized with the wonderment, but I also feel excitement. Like, don't feel bad for feeling excited, especially when you've gone through something like myself where it's that not survivor mode, but survivor mode, but hold on. I feel like the most important message here from the Wheel of Fortune is that things are in motion. And that's one thing you have to remember. Things are moving forward. This is all of what this year is about. The lunar year of the fiery horse is that everything is accelerated. Passion, things you're passionate about. You will see like a more accelerated um timeline to where you're trying to do, and the more action you put into this. I'm not saying you have to overdo it. I'm just saying that you're making the intentions known that you are open to certain things and you will see those things come through. But just remember, when they come through, that when things are chaotic, this is that chaos is a part of that change. So even myself move and everything like that, it's like, yeah, I hate moving. Who likes moving? You know what I mean? But remember, it's for a positive situation. This is what you prayed for. This is what you called in. They call this one Moonlight, but it is the moon. So the moon is all about calling back in our tribe. And I feel like, this with the hairs, it's like intelligence, wit, strength. I also feel like that speed. So maybe this is you're getting yourself physically fit. I feel like the white hair back here is also like spirit guiding you during this transition, during this change in your life. You don't have to fear you're on your own. We have a full blue moon on the 31st of May. So there's two full moons. That's why it makes it more powerful, as I mentioned earlier. But funny enough, it's in the water here. Um, and it's like seeing the reflection of the moon. Or, I definitely felt the energy of it last night. And it looks so magical in the sky. Like it's, starting to go towards that waning crescent. But just like with the tree line and all the stars, it just looks stunning last night. But it's just like calling back in your tribe, staying true to course, and in that full moon energy, recharging yourself. Don't forget rest or rejuvenation. Don't forget to take time to recharge yourself. Three of spells. So we're talking about kitchen magic. Notice also spirit around here. A lot of the cards when shuffling coming out, a lot of them we're talking about that level of kitchen magic, that level of belief. So this is like moon water. So, again, with that hair, like with the water, it can, be like you're drinking your moon water, you're recharging your body, you're recharging your spirit, you're recharging your intuition, because the moon is all about going inward, your intuition, your inner strength, your inner knowledge, hearing, seeing. So I feel like with here, it's like setting intentions. Like we said, today's the 5-5 portal, setting those intentions out. So the white heart, I mentioned this with other ones. That's what I've been seeing this deck for a bit, and I'm like, I need to pull it. So again, with the white hair being behind here, I feel like they're like albino hair, but I feel like this rarity, like with us, that we're seeing like deers in the backyard, and it's like they are guiding you, like you're about to come onto this new journey. For a lot of us, it's like going back out into the world because we went through like a hermit mode to heal, to do the inner work, and some people are suggesting there is still healing going on, and I feel like until those new opportunities come in here, you won't know until it happens. But I feel like butterflies in the stomach. One thing Amberland was mentioning is caffeine. So I used to have 12. I went down to 10. I think I might have to go down to 6. Um, but I don't know, maybe because I had an empty stomach. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why, I don't know if it's because I had mango juice. I'm not sure. I have to, just be like kind of mindful of that, because, obviously I don't want issues being caused. But 555 on the timer, so 5-5 portal. But change and transformation. We got the death card as well. But just know, like, your loved ones, your archangels, your legions of angels, if that doesn't resonate with you, I don't need to hear it. Like, that's fine. Nobody's pushing this on you. Scroll past this if this is not for you, because I really don't need to hear about what, who you believe in the magical Cheeto that's currently in the White House. Have at it. I'm not saying anything about that. You do what you need to do, boo boo. But those that resonate, they understand. Charging your crystals, they're showing amethyst. So if you have an amethyst, maybe it's time to put it on. I love this card with the starlight. This is the star. So we've been getting this a lot. So instead of having one significant out there, it's like stargazing, kind of like last night. And that's something that may speak to you, like stargazing, having a bonfire. We have to watch it right now because they're putting on the bans early this year to avoid situations, and we already have 8. Like, I was like, just like, honestly, like my brothers that live in Australia, I'm like, I follow Jade, that's on TikTok. She's on Instagram as well. I think it's Blue Eyed Jade, and she was talking about the fires early on too. And I'm like, you want to find out what's going to happen in Canada for flu season, fire season? Follow someone from Australia. They'll tell you they'll give you all the tea. But again, it's rest and rejuvenation after a rough patch. And I feel like this is after this long term of whatever you've gone through, is now you're seeing the other side of it. Like, you've already seen knockings, you've already seen blessings and everything. And I feel like that's why they're saying, like, if you read the Bible or the Torah or any spiritual book or any one that talks about that, it's like, will multiply you as numerous as the stars. Like, they can't be counted. You know what I mean? You hear about the trials and tribulations that Abraham or Moses or Um, I'm trying to think of ones that actually do. I think job is also mentioned in there, but like numerous as the stars in the sky, and it does feel like a certain way when certain untimely passings or something happens, and you're just like, okay, but that doesn't mean that defines the rest of the life. That is just, or the rest of the path, the rest of the journey. That's unfortunately something that happened there, and we have to heal from that and move on. It's not easy. Some days feel magical. Like, our cactus bloomed in the living room, three beautiful flowers, and it's like it hasn't bloomed in 2 years. So I'm thankful that it's bloomed. You know what I mean? It's like I said, you start seeing even the small blessings in your life, you will appreciate even the bigger ones that come in. Like, I think her name is Healing Reiki. Oh, what's the last part of it? I thought I had it down. I know it's Healing Reiki, but I can't remember the last part of it. But she even talks about that when she's like, we're gonna send you some money. She's like, we're gonna send you fives and tens. Tens are gonna turn to twenties. Twenties are gonna turn to fifties. Fifties are gonna turn to hundreds, to thousands, to hundreds of thousands, to millions. And it's just like when you appreciate any increment, that's when you open the door. So like this kind of does look like a portal, kind of looks like a hexagon, or even a like a multi-tiered star or tipped star. um when you're getting out those geometrical shapes, I feel like in that, like a 3D, maybe that's saying like you're going into the 3D, but I feel like you're just, opening, going beyond this earthly life, and get up, do your routine, watch TV, go to sleep. Ace of spells, ace of wands, rebirth in your life. I know it's a weaver, but I love dragons. But you know what I mean? I feel like this is where I'm saying like the fiery horse. You know what I mean? And it's like accelerating. We were talking about that earlier, but I feel like their side. You know what I mean? The more we do on our side, they see the work that you're doing. They start doing their side. So like the yin and yang of things. You move, I move. That song. What's his name? Not Busta Rhymes. I think maybe he might. No, he doesn't. Ludacris. When you move, I move, and I can't. I don't know if it's Sierra or whomever singing a vocal on that, but you know what I mean? It's like just like that. It's just like when you move, I move with you. They're showing strength at cards. So I'm not gonna lie, a tower card did come out here, and I'm like, I wonder if this is sometime in the middle of June when retrograde is going on, with no harm to none, including yourself. Do your meditations, what you need to align yourself before we head into that, or before that. Like, sleep may be something that plays in there. So, if you're able to get like a cat nap in there in the afternoon, so it's like kind of rejuvenating your energy. Be your own best friend. All the advice you would give to your friends and loved ones and whomever is in your tribe, it's like remember that. And her robe is down, and it's like grounding ourselves. They also talk about like getting to the vibration of earth, especially because we're opening up here. We're getting lots of rain recently, which I'm not complaining because, like I said, fire season's here. It's like all the dry leaves are blowing around right now that weren't picked up over the season or have blown around, before the snow fell. And they're kicking about. So it's like easily, like flicking cigarettes is what they're showing is the most big cause of it. But they're showing like, Red Riding Hood has still gone out to the woods, or like, you know what I mean? It's just like no time has passed. Like, and I feel like maybe that's that connection when we have with people. The number 8 is there. It's like no time has passed. Like you can reconnect with people. Like I try my very best, especially when it's, summer's, spring, summer gets busy. That's the hot season. And it's just like, I try to message people when they come to my mind. Hey, how's it going? Like, just thinking of you. I try not to do it during readings. I try to make a little note on the side, like this one and this one came to your mind. Just reach out to them to say hi and how's it going and check in on them. I feel like apples, trees are blooming. We already see the leaves coming in, so that may be significant. So apple trees or honeysuckles may be significant as a positive sign. Maybe this is a sign to go in the woods and go for a hike. Do not forget to put on your deep woods, because my girlfriend went in there and she had 3 ticks on her. And I was warning her because, again, Blue Eyed Jade said that her cat went into, unfortunately, the woods and got a tick. And unfortunately, it was really bad this year and the poor baby passed away. So that's why I was like, hey, just a heads up. I know you got 3 big, mountain goats of babies. Like, just, maybe start, keep an eye on the what do you call that, on the ticks. We got Sunny a tick home. We already started with this flea medication as soon as Jade said that, like not right when she said it, but I was like, it was April. I'm like, let's start that now. He just had trimmed off his winter coat and we shaved him right down, and not too short, but it was just like, let's trim that down. You know what I mean? So get rid of all that. And then he still had a little bit of a coat, but then he got another trim. And it's just like, let's put it on him to, like, you know, if any, because it keeps going hot, cold here. And I was just like, if anything is kicking about, at least like he's protected. And it's like his next treatment's coming up. So that's why I'm like, if you see it, grab it. Even if, like, because you know, before the season gets hot, like, it's just like fans. You know it's going to blow up. So maybe, like, see them, grab, you know, a couple of, like, they come in packages of 3 or 4. Grab a couple of packages and you could keep them on hand. So that way, it's like you don't have to worry about chews or anything like that, or them running out. That was our problem one year, is that they ran out. So going back to those manifestations there that I was talking about with so they were also showing the ladies that do the Reiki that have the walnuts on their wrists. It kind of sounds like a rain stick. My aunt got me one. But it's just like, again, where she's like, you know, this is like where they do the charms and the bones and all that good stuff. So again, if this speaks to you, this resonates with you, this is something that you've been looking to start doing. So again, we get the blooms here. We were getting that with like a lot of the um, 9 of Pentacles, where we had, especially what was that Everyday Tarot, with the grapes were really significant. And I was like, oh, funny enough, my sister's getting like a vine tree. I believe it's grapes, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure she said grapes. Maybe I'm mistaken, but she said some sort of viney plant she was getting. So, like, it could be significant. This could also be like your grandmother coming in, and this is something they did, you know? So I don't feel like maybe my grandmother on the one side, but I feel like, you know, maybe my great grandmother. I feel like there is someone that does this. You probably will, if you are able to talk openly about that around your loved ones, you know, about other generational or other relatives that have participated in this. I do follow someone on TikTok that does that. She does bones. I believe she does charms as well. This is so beautiful because I follow Katie Van Sleet on TikTok and every platform possible. But she, you know, 10 of Visions, and it reminds me, or Godis is the only reason I say that. So like you may have been seeing lots of uh like waterfalls again, like maybe cherry blossom. So again, coming into season. But anytime you see unicorns, it's like, you know, making wishes or a manifestation. So again, 5/5 portal, but you know, like kidding season. When I saw this, I was like, oh, reminds me of Katie Van Sleet's farm and her breeding program and her goatees and her little mini farm and stuff like that. So it's just like things that bring you joy. It's like I vicariously live through her because it's like I don't know if my allergies could handle. I would never have on her scale, you know what I mean? Because obviously I'm not knowledgeable or anything like that, but you know, on a smaller scale where I could, you know, a mini farm, like a hobby farm. You know what I mean? Maybe kind of open it to, you know, certain groups that they could come in and, you know, for health, you know, uh, kind of having that connection and feeding and stuff like that. But, you know, you never know what the future holds. But I, like, you know, it's nice to vicariously live through, you know, and I thank her all the time. It's like, thank you for letting a small snippet of her world, but thank you nevertheless, because it is exciting to see, like, you know, her goats are now, you know, having their kids, and you know, I don't know if they're gonna have ones in the fall, but obviously we'll get those updates. But that's what I mean. It's like, you know, it's, we could fill our minds full of fear mongering and stuff like that, or you could actually put your energy into things that make you happy, that put a smile on your face. Especially if, like, they were talking about that hermit mode kind of energy. It's like it is time for you to enjoy life again. Not survivor mode. Survivor's Guilt, is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. But it's just like, you know, you're allowed to be happy that, you know, your loved ones, if it has been like a bereavement, or, you know, hopefully you're on good terms with whomever that ending was with. It's like they would want you to be happy. Like, fill your life with things that make your reality better. You know what I mean? Like, life is too short. 6 of Visions, again, with the owl. Love the book. So like, again, like, this is calling for you to, this is something that you've been studying. So this is where Spirit is calling you in to put your energy into this. She has gone off to her little favorite space with her favorite book and, you know, her little favorite, friends, there's a fairy there. So, you know what I mean? Imagination, but also, like, if that's something you believe in, like, who's to say, you know what I mean? But it's like the owl, it's like a major message. And again, like, she's laying in the grass. Get connected with that vibration of Mother Earth. The frog is significant here because the tree frogs just came out like the past 2 weeks. So, you know what I mean? Like, they're really loud and then, they move on. So, horsefly. That looks like a horsefly. It doesn't look like a dragonfly. But dragonflies to me may be significant. So, like, winged creatures that are around you. There's the butterfly. But you know what I mean? Going into that place where it's just, you turn off your brain and it's so sweet. So it's a gentle reminder, like, with all the things going around, celebrations of Mother's Day, celebrating all those that you love, that it doesn't necessarily have to be like a feminine figure, because it's like anyone that nurtures you in your life that you feel deserves celebrating this weekend, you'd go ahead and do that. You know what I mean? Like your sister, your aunt, you know what I mean, on that side. But maybe it's even a brother, like, a sibling, or so, you know what I mean, someone that you're like, you know what, like, I know this is a certain thing, but I just want to show you my appreciation of you always being that nurturer, that comforter. You don't have to use those words, but you show your appreciation. I appreciate the fact that you are someone significant in my life and makes a difference in my life. You do bring joy to my life. I feel like with getting the star card, I feel like the biggest message is to take time for yourself, and anytime, I feel like a lot of people, especially introverts, like to be alone, but also remember to go out and socialize, but also you're not alone. Like during this transition with the things moving forward, Spirit has your back. Allow the change and transformation to happen. If you're someone like me that it's hard for change, try to get yourself outside, clear your head, and just realize that these are happening because of the intentions or manifestations or what we're calling in to bring change into our life. It's bringing you to where you need to be. So I hope you enjoyed this quick card pull. May the universe bless you good.